about getting up speaking in front of people because I want to be better than I was the last time you heard me. So I erased it real quick. I literally did. And I wrote it back up there. Everybody is afraid. If you're not trying hard enough. You haven't perfected your skill and taken it to the next level. You can always get better. And there should be an inkling of fear. My fear keeps me on my game. Never want to let you down. Always want to add some type of value every time I get in front of you. It's part of my job and commitment to you.
So I introduced my story. I was looking for a job for over a year, made national news, put my balloon resumes. I just got a job yesterday. So. I would say perseverance pays. If you want something, don't give up until you get it.
Today for Table Topics, I'm going to read a quote from this little book called What's Next? Creating the Future Now. This was a gift to my husband from our financial planner, who is outstanding. Triad Financial Advisors, if anybody needs one. And I will call someone to come up and just speak extemporaneously on what this quote means to you. And I can read it again for you if you like. And I was going to give you a second option if you weren't comfortable with the first one. But since the word is perseverance, I'm just going to make you persevere.
So I'm Midge Spong. See things as you would have them be rather than as they are. I think that would have to be my life as a mother of 3 young children. Well, not anymore. Almost 11, almost 9, and 5. And I think my lesson lately is looking at things through lenses of loving kindness. And trying to do that with my children. Which, when you go into this thing, that's how you go into it. I'm going to love these precious, and they and then you're like, oh, I'm not sleeping, etc., etc. And then the house is wrecked and fighting, and so what I'm trying to do now is look at that best in each of them, which is really tough in the middle of the fighting and the mess and the chaos.
Yes, Madam Table Topics Master. That's kind of hard. When I first heard the quote, the first thing that came to my mind was fear. The second thing was Toastmasters. So I will give a shameless plug for Toastmasters because we all came through the door, or at least I hope we came through the door to improve. But a lot of us came here because we were fearful of speaking in front of others. We were fearful to be leaders. We were fearful because we wanted to be entrepreneurs, but we didn't have the courage to do so. So, going off what Albert Einstein had said in his quote, I just want to challenge everyone to step outside of fear and remember that fear is an acronym. False evidence that appears to be real.
I believe that speaks to our responsibility in life. One of the things that really intrigues me as I mature is this sense of responsibility. There's so many people who are looking to us as leaders. So many people really yearn for leadership. And, it can be humbling sometimes, but also it can spur us on to excellence if we really embrace the fact that we are living epistles, if you will.
Where you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to
Pause and
reflect. Just recently, wow, I thought about Black Friday. And I realized, and this phrase came to me, sheep's being led to slaughter. And I thought about it in such a way that I really had to pause and say, do I really want to be an eternal part of what's going on with the merchants, the media, and all that other stuff that goes on? And I said, no. So I said, this year, I'm going to refrain. I'm going to step back, and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to watch the majority.
If your mind isn't open, please keep your mouth shut. I was thinking about how some people like to judge people for what choices they chose in life, whether they were, I don't know, decided to, I can't think of a big example, but Yeah, but a lot of people decide to judge people from whether they came up from and never really thought about their background as to how they decide to choose that decision. They just decide that, oh, they all bad because they chose this way or something.
A Toastmaster, being a leader, and being the best person you can be requires thinking, speaking, and listening. You have to listen. If you're busy talking and you're not listening to the person you're talking to, that's not effective communication.
Toastmasters, guests, and especially Susan. You are on your 6th speech in your confident speaker manual. It's vocal variety. Now, some of the comments that were made, and I agree, it's a pleasure to listen to you. Have this sense of presence and comforting, nurturing, a way of presenting almost anything that you talk about.
One of the things that I love was you opened up with a quote and you said gratefulness makes us happy, and that's pretty much what stuck with me, because even though you had a story that was focused around a lot of turmoil, you still were able to give us all of the joy and the happiness out of that. So even when you would give us some information that was a little bit, you know, on the bad side, kind of, then you would switch it around and also give us something that was good and also make us laugh.
Stay at the lectern. If someone is coming up to speak or someone is leaving, you stay at the lectern till the person comes up, you shake your hand like such, and then you can walk away. Same when you're leaving and when you're coming and when you're going, you just want to make sure you stay at the lectern. This should not be left unattended. Someone should always be standing here. Protocol that when a speaker comes up, we are supposed to clap until they reach the lectern, and then we stop. So even when we have people like Susan, who likes to mess with us and take the long way around, we still are required to clap until they actually reach the lectern. It gives good motivation and it keeps the crowd momentum going. I also like to announce that Mrs. Elaine Way is our newest officer. She's our secretary.
It's all about going through the motions and getting the trinkets, as I call it, from time to time, but they mean a lot. We now have 3 new competent communicators. 3 new competent communicators. That's the first phase. I would like to I'm going to let our Vice President of Education do this. He's so much better at it than I am.
I will do 2 of them. He's going to have to do 1.
Yes,
so, as Competent Leadership Award. So this is in addition to, this is a competent communicator, to our President, Will Hall. The person that we have coming up is going to be our Vice President of Membership, Mr. Otis Prince.
This young lady that I couldn't do without is Miss Yolanda Johnson-Bryant. I always want to call her
Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda Adams.
I can sing like her.